Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bill and Scott Sports Show. I'm Bill.
And I'm Scott.
And we're here to tell you everything that's going on in the sports world.
All right, so on Wednesday, the baseball season ended. There was some very exciting endings in the AL. The Yankees won the AL East, the Tigers won the AL Central, and the Oakland A's won the AL West. And for the wild card, we've got Texas and Baltimore. So as we know, what's new in baseball this year is they have two wild card teams, and those two teams will play each other, and then the winner will be entered into the normal playoff system. So, Bill, who do you think is going to win the game against Texas and Baltimore?
Well, Scott, my pick for the Texas and Baltimore series would have to be Texas, because Texas, they're not gonna. They're hungry for more playoff games. They're not gonna let that choke haunt them. They're not gonna show the baseball world that they're just gonna crumble at this very last second, because Oakland came from behind out of nowhere and just beat Texas, and that's shocking to the baseball world.
Yeah, Texas is very capable of winning that division, and I do think Texas will take this wild card game. I think they have the best offense in Major League Baseball, and you got Josh Hamilton, Cruz, Napoli, Kinsler, and then they have Dempster. They've got Darvish, Beltre, and then you got Nathan closing. They're definitely a team that will go far. Moving on to the NL, the races weren't really exciting. Nationals ran away with the East, Cincinnati ran away with the Central, and San Francisco ran away with the West. And in the wild card, we got St. Louis and Atlanta. So who do you pick for that game?
I would pick Atlanta, Scott, mainly because it's Chipper Jones' final year. He wants to. He hopes to win a championship his last year, and then again, you have great pitching. You got Craig Kimbrell. He's a good closer. You got Minor, and I think with great pitching and good hitting, solid hitting, I think you're going to go far in the playoffs. So the Braves are my pick to win the wild card game.
Yeah, Bill, I completely agree with that. I mean, Chipper Jones, you know when he called it was going to be his last season, you knew he wanted to win, and he knew he felt like the Braves could win. And I think with Chipper Jones, you got Hayward, and then as you said, they have a really good bullpen. Kimbrel. I think the Braves are definitely going to win that game, and I think the Braves can challenge any other team in the National League, especially with that added enthusiasm Chipper Jones brings.
Yeah, the Cardinals don't have Pujols anymore, so you don't have to worry about Pujols.
Yeah. So we'll obviously have more news for that as the playoffs go on. It might be too early, make predictions until we see who necessarily wins the wild card game. But some important news today just happened on Thursday. Red Sox fired Bobby Valentine a few hours ago.
It's not a shock, not shocking at all.
I mean, do you agree with that move?
I do, Scott, because the players did not like him. I can tell you one player, Alfredo Chavez, definitely did not like him. Had a bunch of fights in the clubhouse with Bobby Valentine. He even got suspended 3 games because of a violent dispute in the office. Yeah, and there was the clash between Bobby Valentine and Kevin Youkilis that then led to Kevin Youkilis being traded to the White Sox. So Bobby Valentine, a lot of the players weren't really big fans of Bobby Valentine. There were rumors that Adrian Gonzalez and Pedroia had gone to the ownership and said that they were displeased with Bobby Valentine. And then a few weeks ago, Bobby Valentine releases a statement saying that this is the worst Red Sox team in history. I mean, you don't do that in the middle of the season. You back your team up.
Yeah, I mean, granted, this is the first time in the last 20 years that the Red Sox have had a losing record. Yeah, and this is their worst winning percentage ever since 1965. So I mean, clearly, this isn't something the Boston fans like. They definitely needed a change, and I think the Red Sox should actually be optimistic because they've got by dumping Beckett, Crawford, and Gonzalez to Los Angeles, they got rid of $250 million in salaries. They can, kind of rebuild. Josh Hamilton's going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
I mean.
But my opinion, I don't think they're going to get Josh Hamilton. I don't think the Yankees were interested also in Josh Hamilton, but I don't think no one's going to get Josh Hamilton because he has that drug problem still. And if you go to big cities like Boston or New York, you have that you have alcohol, you have everything at your hands, you know. So I'm thinking since he's out in Texas, out pretty much in the middle of nowhere, you know, there's not much there. So
yeah, no.
I feel like they'll sign him again.
Yeah, and I think Hamilton wants to stay in Texas. I mean, he's been doing well. He's leading them in the playoffs. He's, you know, who knows? They might, you know, go to the World Series again, led by Josh Hamilton.
Maybe.
I mean, he definitely wants to stay, but you know, when it comes to money, the Red Sox and Yankees might get in another bidding war.
That's true.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So also now that the baseball season's wrapped up, we can kind of make our predictions for, you know, MVP and stuff like that. For the AL MVP, I'm gonna have to say Miguel Cabrera.
Yep.
He's the first person to win the Triple Crown since 1967.
Carl Yastrzemski was the last batter to win it.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Yeah, so definitely Miguel. I think some people say that Trout is in there, but
I don't think so. No.
I personally think Trout is going to be the AL Rookie of the Year. He's going to run away with that. He's going to run away with that.
Yeah, he's got the highest average among rookies.
Yeah, yeah. And also something that might kind of bring down Mike Trout's potential MVP is the fact that the Angels didn't make the playoffs, whereas Miguel Cabrera led the Tigers to the playoffs.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah. All right, and so the NL MVP is kind of a little bit more up for grabs. What do you think?
Oh, NL MVP, I would have to say it's up in the air for me. It might be Buster Posey.
I do.
He's got a 336 batting average, so
yeah, like
that's a pretty good batting average.
Yeah, the great part about like Buster Posey, you know, is that he's a catcher.
Yeah.
And like that he puts up incredible offensive numbers.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, and his team's in first place.
And Melky Cabrera, he took himself out, so you can't count him for anything.
Yeah,
so.
Melky Cabrera, who was leading the National League in batting title.
Technically still is.
Yeah, he was suspended, but he took himself out of the batting race. Classy move on his part.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I also was thinking about maybe McCutchen for NL MVP, but it's just like
true.
he didn't come through in the clutch. You know, the Pirates didn't make the playoffs.
Or Chase Headley, 115 RBIs. He's carried San Diego, but San Diego went nowhere. So
yeah, exactly.
I doubt he'll get he won't get anything. I don't think.
Yeah, so we agree that the Rookie of the Year in the AL will be Trout, and then in my opinion for the NL it's between Wade Miley and Bryce Harper. What do you think?
I would have to go with. Yeah, it's a tough one because Wade Miley has a good winning record, and but I would have to say Bryce Harper.
Yeah,
he's young. He's popular. He's got popularity on his side. I think that's the one that's going to help. His popularity is going to help his case.
Yeah, Bryce Harper brought fans to the Nationals. He brought hype. Nationals have the best record in the National League.
Let alone he's 19 and he's close. He's got he's in the 20 range for home runs.
Absolutely. And then the last thing is the Cy Young, which also might be up for grabs. What do you think for the AL? You think Verlander can repeat?
I wouldn't be surprised, Scott. I would have to say maybe Verlander. Probably Verlander.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at these stats we've got, Verlander 17-8. I mean, his strikeouts.
Or David Price. I would actually put my vote in for David Price.
I mean, I just think Verlander. He doesn't have the best record, but he's just the most dominant. He's got the most strikeouts. He's leading the top team in the Central. He just throws complete heat. It's just, you know, it's morally, you know, it's hard to go into the game knowing you're going to face Justin Verlander.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, do you have anything else to say for that?
No.
And then NL Cy Young.
NL Cy Young, in my opinion, would have to be maybe Clayton Kershaw, or you got
Dickey.
Dickey. I would actually give it to Dickey. So.
Our New York Mets pitcher R.A. Dickey comes out of nowhere with the knuckleball. Should have started in the All-Star game.
Should have, yeah.
Problem is the Mets didn't go anywhere this season also, but I just think, you know, at his age.
They did have a 6-game.
Yeah.
They were 6 games above 500 in the All-Star break, so.
I just think you gotta give that to Dickey. He deserves it. Hard work. I mean, these other guys, Kershaw, Gonzalez, they can win it in a few years. It's all good, but.
It's true, but Gio Gonzalez carried his team.
Yeah, you know, considering the fact that the Nationals shut down Steven Strasburg a few weeks ago.
Gio has been
Big G.
the lifesaver. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He'd be my. I think I would put him for second place in my opinion.
Second place
For Cy Young.
Yeah. All right. So, anything else you kind of want to talk about in this baseball edition? Anything else?
Well, nothing yet, but I'd say like the top teams, like you got the Yankees, they got 3 days rest, so they have to rest all their big bats.
They do have a lot of big bats. Ichiro was a great addition.
Ichiro, yeah, 320 batting average coming with he's in his career so far with the Yankees. It's only been 2 months or so, 2-3 months about.
Yeah, it's been really good. Yeah, so baseball playoffs are starting. Everyone should watch it. It's going to be awesome. Just also, some other news. NFL, the refs are back. That's good news. The NHL canceled the first, I think, month of its actual. Today it canceled a lot of its actual games. We'll have more on that next week.
We got players now playing in Europe.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And also a big shout out to West Virginia quarterback Geno Smith, putting up video game numbers. It's ridiculous. He's going to go for Heisman. All right. Well, thank you for watching the Bill and Scott Sports Show.
I'm Bill.
And I'm Scott.
And we'll see you next week.